What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of With Love with Ty Cole. And today I have somebody who honestly, I really see him as one of those ones as we get into the future. Not only is he comical, he has an action side. He even has a really cool sinister side. But the crazy part is, even in his sinister moments, there's still that lightheartedness within each take. I got the one, the only Johnny Ray Gill in the building.
What's
How
up,
you feeling
everybody? How you
today?
doing? I'm good. I'm good. I'm chilling, man. Chilling like a villain.
You
Villain
know,
killing and
I
stealing.
thought we were related at first because your last name is Gill, and I come
Mhm.
from a family of Gill and Gilliards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so their roots are in Ridgeway, I think South Carolina.
Okay.
So I was like, are we related? Where's your roots from, Johnny?
Maybe. I can trace back to Arkansas. That's as far back as I can go.
Okay.
So Arkansas through the Bay, up to Portland.
Okay. I don't know. We're gonna have to do
You ready to
what
do,
is
yeah,
it?
some ancestry or something.
Yeah, I do some ancestry because I saw Gil and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, and then what's so funny was your name is actually like so fun fact. So I learned this on my trip 2 years ago. My mom, before she passed away, and we went to our family reunion.
Hmm.
And I learned cousins of mine, and one is actually Johnny Gill,
Oh, wow. Okay. The Johnny Gill.
like the Johnny Gill.
Okay.
And I
That's funny.
was
I have a funny story
shocked.
about him.
So when I see your name, I'm like, okay, one,
Hmm.
too similar, but two, is he my cousin? Is that, are we also related? I don't know. I might just tell people in the streets like, yeah, I have two cousins named Johnny Gill. Like,
Hey, listen, the more the merrier. It's
you know what I
funny.
mean?
I just met him last year for the first time. Ironically, obviously, I've been Johnny Ray my whole life.
Right.
Because I'm named after my father. My father's Johnny Ray, so they would call him Big Johnny Ray and me Little Johnny Ray. Since
Mm.
I'm a junior. But I just met Johnny Gill last year because we were both at an event. I didn't know he was there, but they switched our names around. So I
Mm.
go to do a press interview and they're like, yeah, so tell me, how'd you start New Edition?
Uh,
What was that like? And I was like, I don't have any insight on that. So I think I'm just gonna have to
See,
re-switch
I'm a
this around.
troll. I probably would have went along with him, been like, well, it was like a really, really rainy day in New York City. And I was just walking the streets and Bobby Brown pulled up. Like I would have carried on. But I'm also a troll.
Hey, ain't nothing
So
wrong with that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
speaking of trolls and trolls in a good way, when I
Mhm.
see Bobby, first of all, I think even though you had limited to an extent screen time in season two, you really stole the show. I don't know if you've
Oh,
seen
thank
different
you.
publications. Like there are certain things that are dedicated. It's like a Bobby stan. Like,
Oh,
there's
wow.
so many Bobby stans out there. Even though you are a villain, like I said, like this season, you kind of see a little more layers of him. Like you're not all bad because you were a former cop, a former detective cop, turned bad. But now this season, you kind of, and at this point, y'all should have been watching because we're damn near at the last episode.
Season finale tonight. Yeah.
That's what
Well,
I'm
no,
saying. Like you should have
yeah.
been already watching. So then you kind of have this like softness with what's going on with your fellow cops. So it's interesting. So when you read Bobby for the first time, like, was there a part of him that felt like a warning or a recognition of some sorts?
When you say wanting a recognition to what?
So when you read for Bobby, like the things he was doing and the things he was going to get himself into, and even reading for him this season, like, did it kind of feel like when I say warning, more of just like, oh wow, like he's getting crazy, like this is a lot going on, or did you see it more as like a yeah, like he has a lot going on, but like I can understand little bits and pieces of like why he is the way he is.
I think I understand. I think from a character perspective, I definitely understand from a metaphorical sense. I mean, I'm nothing like Bobby Trey, but I understand that psychosis is created by systems. And so when I first was creating Bobby Trey was uh, uh, a metaphor for capitalism, which is incredibly charming but also incredibly vicious.
Yeah.
It'll chop down the entire forest and sell it back to you at a premium. Slavery is capitalism working at its absolute maximum. So
Yes.
I just tapped into how indoctrination can create people like Bobby Trey.
Yeah.
The military industrial complex, the police industrial complex, poverty throughout the South, etc. So on one hand, I can understand intellectually. So for me, it's just tapping into all the different mechanisms that make his machinery tick.
I love that. And I think, he does represent so much about when I look at him, like there's so much political conversations that you can have outside of what he says out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Especially when he kind of recognizes, like, when he sees like some of the deep fake stuff that's going on and how his fellow, detectives are kind of being like, torn apart. So when you see that type of division happening, good cop, bad cop, etc., do you find any parallels in that within like the real world? And where do you think Bobby sits in that intersection?
I mean, I think he sits right in the middle of the intersection. I think he's pulled in all different directions. I think he's a Frankenstein of sorts. It's
Yeah.
funny when we were just talking about that film. I think about three-fifths of a man that we were called uh, a more vicious iteration of the United States.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, it very much has parallels. Um, what was happening to those soldiers in Cross reminded me of the Tuskegee experiments,
Mm.
where we were being experimented on at Tuskegee University. So everything for me is always rooted in history and rooted in fact that I can like wrap my brain around. I think imaginations are only useful if they're educated. You
Yeah.
can you can muse as much as you want inside your head, but if you don't know if there's any, but if you don't know gravity doesn't exist, you're gonna jump off a building and you're gonna go splat.
Yeah, you
So
will.
yeah, so for me, it's just rooting it in things that are tangible that I can wrap my brain around.
I think what also I like about him is he has so much power in a room without raising his voice.
Mm.
So, who taught you how to hold power in a room without raising your voice? And when have you gotten that wrong or correct in your own life? And
Oh
when I say
shoot.
wrong or correct, well, I feel like you understand what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. First off, I gotta say my mother. Um, that's number one. And then number two, I was in a rites of passage program in Portland, Oregon, the largest rites of passage program west of the Mississippi.
I love that.
It was a program that was based on the book Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. And it
Mm,
was about raising black boys to be proper men. And so going through the seven barometers of manhood, etc., that's what taught me how to kind of, walk with your head high and lead with the right things. When I was in drama school, one of the one of the acting exercises we did, they would always say people walk into a room leading with something. They
yeah, yeah.
some women walk in and they lead with their breasts. Some lead with their butt. Some dudes walk, they lead with their penis. Some dudes lead with their knee because they got an injury, etc. But some people lead with their brain and their heart. And
Right.
so that's what I want to lead with when I walk into a room with my brain, with my heart. Everything else is extra. You feel me?
I love that. And also with Bobby, because he leads with, I would say Bobby leads with like his aura. Like I don't
Yeah,
even look at Bobby's like anything, like there's nothing else that not saying he doesn't stand out, but his presence is
yeah.
something that walks in. But I think the way that he also moves like someone who's used to being needed. Like it
Hmm.
feels like Bobby needs to be needed in different ways to execute certain things. So have you ever had to unlearn tying your worth to how useful you are to other people?
Oh yeah, I think that's a constant. That's something you're constantly unlearning. As we
Exactly.
unlearn the things that were taught to us in this American wilderness, and certain relationships that I've had with family members, with friends, even with industry representatives, right? You have to understand that you're in collaboration with these folks, and we always have to work on our attachment styles, which is why therapy is important, which is why
Love that.
journaling is important. So yeah, it's a constant evolution.
What's like a softness you would say that is in you that people would never associate with the man we see on screen?
Oh shoot, probably my stuffed animal collection.
Okay.
Uh,
Wait, that's actually very adorable. Hold on, I'm sorry.
yeah, well,
What are these animals? Oh my God.
We got Froggy right here.
So you have
Uh,
names for them.
yeah, this is Aki
Okay.
right here. You, you know what I'm saying? So
What's his
for
name?
me,
Octopussy or
I call him Aki.
Aki?
Yeah,
Okay.
Aki, I got Tortuga right here. I got when people travel, they sometimes collect magnets or those kinds of
Mm.
things. When I travel to new places,
Keychains.
yeah, keychains. When I travel to new places, I grab a stuffed animal or a stuffy that reminds me of the place.
Okay.
Uh so yeah, I had a stuffed animal collection when I was growing up. When
Okay.
my mom would go to the grocery store, you remember that claw game?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll like have to
Yeah.
like grab it
I
from
was really
the
good at that.
machine.
I was really good at that. So I would
Did you
get stuffed
always get a
animals
toy
there.
out, or did sometimes you have to keep putting in a couple more
Oh
quarters?
yeah, you got to keep putting it in because it's a circle jerk. They playing with you,
They
but
are playing with you.
they playing with you. But if you understand the game a little bit, sometimes it's not about picking it up. You got to move it. It's all kind of stuff I used to do. So yeah, it's something that followed me into adulthood. And then in
Okay.
addition to my plants, they kind of like my little homies.
We like being plant dads. Wait, how many stuffed animals do you have?
Right here, probably seven. Yeah, I
Okay.
got
In your
plates
collection
around the house.
in general, seven.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, and yeah, here's seven.
I love
But I
that.
don't always get one. It depends. It's got to speak to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
Okay.
been, when I was in Africa, I got Tortuga when I was at the Georgia Aquarium. There was this little boy. He kept saying Las Tortugas,"
Oh, I love
and
that.
it was a beautiful moment. And so when I was leaving, you know, I picked one up, and the cashier was like, "What's this for your girlfriend?" I was like, "No." She was like, "For
No,
your mom?" No. For your auntie? No. I said this for me.
this is for me. Why is it so hard for you to believe that it's for
It's for
me?
me.
Right. Oh, that's actually really funny. I love that. I need to maybe get me a little collection. I'm trying to get plants up in here since I just moved back to New York and fixing up things, but I think I'm gonna get fake plants. But someone told
Okay.
me that they would judge me if I get a fake plant collection. Would you
Yeah.
just, okay,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being judged right now from the plant
Yeah.
dad community. So what are
Yeah.
some of the do's and the don'ts of being a plant dad? Like, because clearly one is me not getting a fake plant and
Yeah.
having it in my
Yeah.
house.
I think the dudes is the same dudes that you have being a real dad. Um,
So I have a real
Plants,
baby, got it.
plants, yeah, yeah, they become your babies. Plants or your friends or your colleagues. Plants winds up teaching you about life. I meet a lot of people that say, I love my plants, but they keep dying. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, well, did you look up how to take care of them?
Yeah.
Are you
There's also
loving
different
them?
ways to take care of
Yeah,
different plants.
yeah. Were you loving them the way that you want to be loved or how they want
Mhm.
to be loved? You feel me? So since you're in New York, all you got to do is look up some plants that thrive in New York, thrive in your conditions in your apartment. If you
Okay.
don't got a lot of sunlight, there's plenty of plants that you can have in your space that'll not only survive, but they'll thrive. But if you get something that ain't supposed to be up in there, it's gonna be a dead man walking.
It's gonna be a dead man walking. I think I might get me the ones that don't require too much attention because I'm always
Yeah.
traveling.
Succulents are great for that.
Yeah, I need me a succulent plant,
I
you
can
know?
give you a great succulent. They're called desert roses. They're native to East Africa.
Oh, okay.
I got six of them. They turn into like bonsais and they bloom these beautiful, beautiful roses, man. Easy to find, easy to
Wait,
take
I'm gonna
care of.
need that. Okay, so
Yeah.
after this, I'm literally gonna DM you. So
Holla at
you
me.
can let me know where I need to get.
Some of them on my page, yeah. Some of them on my page, man.
Okay.
They've been with me through this whole journey. You can put them in pots, and they'll grow slow. They'll grow alongside you. You know what I'm saying? So when you
Okay.
get more space, you put them in a bigger pot, and then they go vavoom.
I'm gonna give me a little succulent plant.
Yeah.
If someone who raised you watched Cross, what moment of yours would make them say, that's Johnny Ray right there. That's not Bobby.
None of them. None of them.
Not
None of
even
them.
because we're gonna get into one comedic moment that I think was
None of them.
hilarious. So none
None
of
of
them.
them. Actually, one of my favorite, first of all, my aunts, the calls I get from my aunties, I had a lot of people that, was raised in the church when I was
Hmm.
growing up. So some of the calls I've gotten from my aunties and when certain things are happening on the show have been hilarious. And actually one of my favorite moments, I actually had one of my parents come visit me on set for the first time to
Oh, I
see me
love
work,
that.
which never happens. And my pops, I'll say he's a little rough around the edges, you feel me?
Hmm.
And I went the academic route in my life. And so him on set, he watched me film, I believe it was a scene in the season finale. And I heard him talking to one of the gaffers, and he was like, "Man, that's not my son." And so that's the compliment as an actor. Our job is to
Yeah,
change energies. I think too often, because of how things are cast and how things have unfortunately evolved into a more materialistic, capitalistic idea of what it means to be black. Much of our stories are about uh, this idea that you need to be who you are on camera, and it's like I don't want you to be natural. Our job as actors is to change our essence and
exactly.
to shed light on times long gone, on issues. Um, Toni Morrison talks about how dangerous art is, and so for me, everything comes through an artistic prism. I'm not trying to be me. I'm me right now. I'm me throughout the day with my plants, but when I'm doing a character, it's an opportunity and a blessing to be able to jump into another spirit, to connect with the ancestors,
Yeah.
um, to shed light on another form of being, whether that's somebody like
Mhm.
Bobby Trey or somebody like Kerwin on Rectify, who was falsely convicted of, of murdering somebody, whether that's somebody like Sam on Underground, who was autistic. It's
Okay.
a chance to jump into these different skins and shed light on the depth and breadth of the Black experience.
I love that you kind of talk about that because I want to talk about something. It was a scene. Now, while it was somewhat comedic, but also so sinister to those, I think it was in episode one or two. I
Mm,
think it was wonderful for me to watch because as Black people, when we are getting these certain kind of roles, we're never really set up to have layers. And when I say
mhm.
layers, I don't mean emotionally.
Yeah,
I mean, we're not always able to play around with our character. Like we can't have a moment because it may be deemed as too feminine or too hard or too
right.
soft or too this. So
Yeah.
when you were in that kitchen cooking whatever you was cooking, I forget what meal it was, but you was in
It's
the song.
cooking them eggs.
You was cooking them eggs. You cracked the eggs and then you cooked the eggs right afterwards.
Yeah,
And I was just cooking the eggs. It was so funny but refreshing to see a Black man just be a different element, different version of what we're able to see. When you read that in the script, what was going through your mind? Like, were you worried about, if at all, anything? Were you worried about fan reactions? Did you not care about that? Did you think
I
about
don't
how
give.
you may feel? Like, did you do extra push-ups before the scene started? Like,
Yeah.
what was going
Nah,
on?
no extra push-ups. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
That's very true.
um, I, I, I don't know if I can curse on here, so I'll say I don't give
You
a rusty.
can, we're an
I
open,
don't,
safe space.
I don't give a rusty, man. My job is to portray the depth and complexity of the character that I'm playing. So, whether the person's in a priest outfit or a zebra thong, the
Mm,
truth is what's important to me. I think too many times we care about what people gonna say.
yeah.
I see that. It's a lot of internet warriors But for me, like I said, everything is rooted in truth. And when it came time to do that scene, it was really a callback to a scene in season one. When we had a conversation about what, was Bobby Trey going to be naked? Was he going to not be naked? This and the third. I personally don't like nudity on camera. I think it distracts from the story.
Mm,
That's for men and women. So you get an opportunity again to truth tell and say, well, what kind of underwear would this brother wear?
hmm
And I remember I did some research after they showed me some options. And I found out that a lot of men apparently wear thongs because they're more comfortable. And it has nothing to do with their sexuality. It has
mm,
nothing to do about any of those things. And so that's an opportunity for me, as somebody who believes in liberation, to, put that on wax. So for season two, it was about, bringing it back so people didn't think it was a random one-off. Like this is
yeah.
just how this brother likes to rock, and you can get the hands put on you whether I got a thong on or not.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
So
And
it's a yeah,
how did you make a moment like that that can be very, because you're in a vulnerable state
yeah,
when you're in that, it doesn't matter if you're on camera or not. You walking
yeah.
around the house and somebody comes in fully clothed and you are just in a zebra thong, you're very vulnerable and
Of
exposed.
course,
How do you make those vulnerable moments read as dominant still?
because I look at it as two different things. A status game. I'll give you an example
hmm
right now. People, again, the comment section is the comment section, but if you went home right now and there was a dude with a knife in your kitchen that you ain't never seen before, and his aura felt off like, we are animals to a certain extent, and just
Yeah.
like dogs and cats, like, they can read when a killer's in the room.
Or
You know what I'm
feel
saying?
it.
Or feel it. They got that those other
Instinct.
senses that are at work, those instincts. So for me, I just tap into that. And comedy and drama are interlinked. Sometimes you'll be I mean, shoot, I was laughing this morning watching ESPN, and because it's hilarious how they're talking about how Venezuela beat the US, and I think it's funny that no one mentions the big reason why people might be crying,
Right.
because Venezuela was just attacked. So to me, there's humor in the farcical nature of what I was watching. And so like I said, hey brother, if I need you to keep your voice down because I had to do a lot of work to get,
Right.
to get this popping. And so, like I said, everything is just kind of interconnected, and not you don't have to lead with anger
Mhm.
at all points. Because like I said, if you're a real killer like that, you don't need to. It's funny. You made me think of an acting exercise we did in drama school.
Okay.
Um, where you can connect your character to animals, for example. Like,
Hmm.
no, a jaguar is never in a rush. G,
No.
never in a rush. Never takes his eyes off the target. Squirrels are like this. You know what I mean?
Very
But
anxious.
yeah, but these real killers, lions, tigers, bears, orcas, etc. So to me, like I'm always tapping into those elements to you, like I said, try to bring it to the work.
And I just thought about that. You know what I thought about, which is really funny? I don't know if you've ever seen, you probably have, it's pretty viral. This Destiny's Child interview where they asked them what kind of animals do they want to be. And
Okay.
Michelle was like, I want to be a Black Panther. Like they go really small and smooth. And it's funny saying it out loud, but you saying that made me think to myself, like, yeah, like these real killers are actually very slow. And they're
Yeah.
like really calculated. Like they don't have to move too quick.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments, I always try to give homage to the people that came before me.
Mhm.
That, similar to we wouldn't have LeBron James without Oscar Robertson,
No.
without the people that came before these fantastic players now. So I just think about Sir Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. When I was in drama school, they told me a story that if you go watch that movie, he doesn't blink the entire movie.
Mm.
And he based his character off crocodiles and spiders because a spider can infinitely wait.
Yeah,
And there's something very, very poetic about that. Because when you watch a movie, sure, infinitely wait sounds great because I can cut to 5 days later. But imagine
correct.
if you sat in the same position 24 hours a day for 2 weeks.
Mm.
That's a different kind of, you know what I mean? That's a
Hmm.
different kind of patience. If you can, reminds me of a Rudyard Kipling line, and if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, like that's nuts. You know what I'm saying? So
It's kind of
watching,
wacky a little bit.
yeah, you do have to have a little screw loose, which is probably why they got eight eyeballs
Yeah.
because they
No,
got.
honestly, what animal do you think Bobby would be?
Oh shoot, man. Damn, I had to think about that. I will say I sent the producers a video in season one of badgers and coyotes hunting together.
I
Um,
always see that one
yeah,
on TikTok and Twitter or
yeah,
X, whatever.
I
Yep.
wanted to let them know that Bobby doesn't work for this dude.
No.
These people they're working for their own mutual interests. So, I would say, I don't know, Bobby's a jaguar or a spider or something like that. You feel
He gives
me?
me Jaguar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some kind of cat, man. He's quick on his feet.
He's
Always got his
definitely
eye
cat.
on the target. He'll
Speaking
hop
of
out a tree on you.
speaking of quietness, there's ebbs and flows in all of our careers.
Yes, yes,
And
sir.
I feel like, you've had a quieter season until Cross came along. And now it's like a big breakout where people are
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, we need Johnny Ray. We need Johnny Ray. When you go through those quieter seasons, what thoughts showed up that were harder to outrun because there was no distraction? And what encouraged you to keep moving forward to get to now this, I don't want to say louder season, but leveled season?
I mean, my plants.
Okay,
My
so the
plant.
plants really got you together. So we got that plant
Sure.
daddy hat on.
Ah, shit.
I just
But yeah,
realized it.
they're always growing. I think that's the crazy part. You'll go on a trip, you come back,
Mhm.
and this thing that was this big is now this big because it's
Mhm.
always growing and it's these incremental steps. So life is a marathon. I think the best thing for me after 2020, I realized we don't have as much control as we think.
Yeah,
After the pandemic, if someone that came to me and shoot when I was in school or 10 years ago and said, the whole world's going to shut down because of a virus, it sounds like a movie. And that's
yeah,
what happened. People lost their homes. The fires in Altadena, you can just go through. So for me, connecting to history, connecting to the tools I learned in therapy, etc., the quiet time is the same as this time because it's all an illusion of perception. You know what I mean? It's people on shows that's barely making it because they
yeah.
paying. And so it's people that ain't on the show that's rich as hell in spirit and even financially. So for me, it's always just about keeping the main thing, whether I'm popping to other people or whether I'm not popping in whatever the ecosystem is, because it's all
Yeah.
about getting better as an artist for me.
What's a belief about success that you had to dismantle in order to keep going?
I think you gotta take the fear out of success.
Mhm.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come when it comes. I think you got to be fearless. You gotta tell the stories that you want to tell. Also, I've been told that black stories can't be told in a certain way. Characters like Bobby Trey can't exist, but then I see them existing for other people, in other contexts. So, sometimes you can't believe these folks, man.
No.
Sometimes you can't believe these folks. You gotta keep moving, man. And like I said, just keep the main thing the main thing.
There's a difference between, I would say, patience and like being overlooked. How
Hmm.
did you know which one you were experiencing at the time before you booked Cross?
Oh shoot, I mean, some people gonna overlook you, man. I
Mhm.
mean, we live in America. We black in America. We've been overlooked
We
for
are back in
150
America.
years. Shoot, I just I always say if Frederick Douglass can teach himself how to read in the cover of night with no electricity over the, with the threat of being roasted over a spit. And for people who don't know that, they used to put black people on the little thing and roast them over, they could roast them over open fire. If he can learn how to read under those circumstances, I can handle these circumstances. I think about the black women in the early 90s and the early 80s and in the 80s that were singing on R&B records, and then they would replace them in the music video with a light-skinned woman because it was more marketable. So we've
Yeah,
always been overlooked. We've always had to be twice and three times as good. But that doesn't mean that doesn't exist. That exists at the exact same time. You have to have perseverance because Nina Simone made it happen.
yeah,
Neil deGrasse Tyson made it happen in the science field. So
yeah.
I think you have to those two realities exist at the parallel to each other. And so
Mm.
I just lean, like I said, I just lean on the ancestors. They made it, I can make it, and then if I can make it, generations after me can make it too.
I want to talk about replacement because that's something that has been really a big theme this season and also in our world today. I
Hmm.
mean, and I like that you guys are really on time with things like deep fakes, AI, all the things. Deep fakes, they strip people of their own likeness and ownership and their own imaging, their own image.
Yeah.
What do you think it means to own yourself, especially in today's world where you can be replicated without consent?
Um, that's a tough one, but I think it means that you need to be knowledgeable. I think, and I don't want to. I know education is power, man. And
Be empowered.
a lot of these things are happening to people because they're unaware, because they are overworked. They're not allowed to vote for politicians that would make these things illegal. I was just on a pod. Most people don't know that the grocery stores is all owned by the same folk. The grocery stores get subsidies from the government that was your tax dollars. So it's all about information. And I don't say that lightly because many of these companies and many branches of many people in our government, the fascists, the Republicans, those people, sure, they want you to have guns. It's funny that they'll let you have that, but they won't let you have education. They won't let you. They'll ban black books. They'll suppress black voters, etc. So I think you have to really understand and trying to own yourself, right, and to have agency amongst yourself where that agency comes from, and it
Yeah.
comes through education. It comes through knowledge, and you'll find out as you get educated that we've done some of this stuff before in various iterations, and the knowledge is how I think you get free and you have autonomy, not just in your life, but in your community at large.
You know, if truth becomes something that can be edited and not just interpreted, what happens to accountability, in your opinion?
I think what's been happening. African proverb says, only when lions have historians will hunters cease to be heroes. They've been
Mm.
edited. I know they call it AI now, but they was hiding they was hiding what was going on with Nixon. They was hiding what was going on with Malcolm X. They was hiding what was going on with Fred Hampton. So I know this feels new, but this quest to keep people distracted and to keep people uneducated is very, very, very American. Propaganda is very, very, very American. The Nazis learned it from us. The folks that were committing apartheid studied
Yeah.
us. So we have to, I think, as a community, connect to our history, and that will prepare us for the things that we're facing now and what will continue to be facing until we're able to change things.
What I enjoy about you as I was going and doing my research on your page is you don't seem afraid to question power. And I think that's a beautiful thing, especially in a world where people are a lot of times, what's what I'm looking for? They face backlash because of that.
Yeah.
So what was the moment in your life when you realize silence wasn't protection.
Uh, I keep talking about history, but silence ain't protection, it's complicity
Hmm.
oftentimes. Whatever is happening to somebody else is gonna happen to you. Um, Whatever ills is happening to the person up the road,
Yeah.
the police gonna shoot them, they're gonna come get you too. So for me, I want people to be free, man. I want people to be happy, and I just want to play my role in hoping. I want to play my role in hoping to bring those conditions about, whether that's in 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. I want people to look back on my legacy and realize that I was with the times, not behind the times. Um, um, you know, so yeah, that's silence ain't gonna get you nowhere, man.
No.
It just is what it is. I think about those times people were silent. When Obama was saying he didn't believe in gay marriage, right? We shouldn't have been silent at those times. We shouldn't have been silent in the 90s. We shouldn't have been silent in the 80s because what happened? It just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. So I think as a community, we have to have demands moving forward. Um, as a community, I couldn't say what are our non-negotiables, right? What are the things that what are the things that we won't support you unless you do this. And that's not just a politician's thing. That's who our leadership is in the entertainment community, right? Who will you say, yo, man, I can't work with them. I don't care if they're giving me this, that, and the third. That person doesn't pay his workers correctly. That person doesn't, value women on set. That person doesn't do this, this, that, and the third. So I, in good conscience, can't work with this cat. You see,
Yeah.
those are the kind of things that I think that we need to focus on and bring voice to, right? People just out here doing things. I mean, look at Shu. I mean, look at Diddy. Look at all the complicity along the way.
I
You
was
look
gonna
at all the
ask you
silence
like
along the way.
I was gonna ask you if there's something on your spirit or something happening in the world right now that you feel people are choosing to not look at directly that you want.
Tons of things, tons of things. I don't think it's just one. I mean, from Congo to Mississippi, man. From uh, uh, so many things. If anything, I just want people to be engaged. I want people to be engaged and take a stand because Mississippi needs it, California needs it. Um, uh, like I said, Congo needs it. There's so much going on, and as Americans, we're taught to just keep eating our avocado toast.
Now, why the
uh,
avocado toast have to catch a stray? And
I mean,
I was gonna make me an avocado toast tomorrow morning.
I'm in LA, so everybody,
I
is
do go
eating it
back
out
and
here.
forth. We do eat that. Well,
Yeah,
not we as in I live there, but LA they eat.
yeah, yeah, and it's all well and good until the avocado trees don't grow no more because of climate change. You
Mhm.
feel me? So we have to be engaged so that our communities don't wither away. And right now, the withering is happening underneath the rug, underneath a very pretty perfume rug. And so I'm
Mhm.
just happy to see people being like, I'm happy to see people waking up, man. I'm happy to see
Yeah.
people waking up, and we got to continue to do that.
Let's say we put you in office because you have a lot of great, I would say, policies.
Yeah.
So if you were handed real power tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
what's something you would dismantle immediately, even if it
Immediately,
might make you unpopular or not unpopular?
I would dismantle the electoral college immediately.
Okay.
Immediately. It would fundamentally change. It would fundamentally change the makeup of our government. The Electoral College is a remnant of slavery to keep plantation owners with power, and look who has power right now in all the states. Because of the Electoral College, they don't campaign. In all the states. Wouldn't it be nice if they went to Oregon to convince you to vote for them? Wouldn't it be nice if they went to Mississippi or Alabama, but they don't go to those places. They go to the same lily white 5-4 states, right? And so something like that would immediately change the complexity because some of these people would no longer be able to be elected. They're only elected because of this uh, um, uh, old plantation era, slavery era mechanism in our government. So that's one of the first things I would change. I would also want a Department of Science, of Math and Science, so that we can get the brightest minds, black, brown, white, woman, and have them creating things that are not just for profit, but having creating things for the wellness of human beings. You feel me?
Mm.
Also, I would do trains, man. We ain't got no trains out here, bro. We need to have trains like Japan going all around the country, man. I would be cooking, bro. I would be
Well,
cooking.
LA needs to get more. New York, we got enough.
Yeah,
Y'all
y'all
got
got y'all,
like,
but y'all need y'all joints updated. Have you seen the trains in Japan,
all
man?
right, Johnny Ray.
Hmm.
Okay, now don't not too much, not too much for my city now. Okay.
Okay, man.
Oh, I think it's funny because when I look behind you, that beautiful painting.
Oh, right here.
No, 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 up
Oh,
with
right here.
the screaming. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
I love that rage, but it's like I think, and I keep seeing things with different outlets. Like I think for Fine 29, my girlfriend, Kathleen, she talked about Black women rage in films, and people are discussing rage, and I think it's become more of a popular buzzword, especially when it comes to Black people. You know, when you think of rage and when you think of Black rage, like what does that look like to you? Like, how can we use our rage for change and et cetera? Like, when you think of Black rage, what does that mean?
I think rage and anger is one of the most useful emotions when channeled correctly. Martin Luther King was incredibly angry. That's why he was outside.
Mhm.
Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman was incredibly angry. So which is why they want to keep us focused on brunch and day parties because that sedates your anger. That's what. So you should be angry when your grandmother goes to vote in the primary and she gets bullied and harassed by the police. You should be angry. You should be angry when a police officer goes inside a woman's kitchen and shoots her in the face. You should be angry when an ICE officer shoots a woman in the face and then they raise the police budget. You should be angry when the police have more money than the education system in your city. You should be angry. You know what I mean? So anger is what can, like I said, when channeled the right way, that's what builds change, man. In the same way
Yeah.
that they're angry, some of them are angry that black people have moved forward and are no longer slaves. So they're using that anger to try to return us back to that state.
Mm, it's a really
You know
good
what I'm saying?
answer. Yeah.
So yeah.
Johnny Ray for governor, mayor, president,
I mean, one day, I mean, we'll
anything.
see. We'll
Would
see.
you ever think about that? Like, would you ever think about running for office aside from being
I've
an
thought
actor?
about it. I've thought about it. I've definitely thought about it because I think we need to. The reason that so much of this has happened is because we're not involved, and
Mhm.
they're very much involved in our subjugation and the subjugation of Black people, brown people, our LGBTQ plus community, etc. So, for me, we have to be involved. Like it's one of those things where I think about it like this: if lobbyists can have companies can pay companies to participate in elections, why shouldn't we be paid to participate in elections? We get 100% turnout. I think people should get a tax credit for that. So it's all kind of things that they do for the super rich that they would never do for you. And they'll tell you, "Oh man, why we can't I can't pay Ty to vote. That would be horrible." Yet they paying everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's we have to be involved, good brother. And I know it's easy to do interviews and to promote the show. And obviously the show is dope. And to promote your career, that's dope. But those are some of the themes that are inside the shows. That's what Ben Watkins is putting, on wax. And also, I don't want to give a false perception of what is going on in Hollywood when there's people out here losing their health insurance. I feel if I can post a red carpet, you'll also see on my page when I lost health insurance. You see what I'm saying? Because those
Mhm.
things are synonymous with each other. They're equally a part of the journey.
I love that. And honestly, yeah, I'm way more transparent with things where I
Yeah,
feel like, yeah, it's relatable, but it's also the truth. Like,
yeah,
this is self-funded. Like, yeah, I have a
absolutely.
10-year background and I work with all these amazing outlets, but I gotta also do my own thing too. And have
Absolutely.
conversations like this that may not be able to be as palatable for other publications. But that's where
Yeah.
we need to invest and also support our own. Like I
Right,
think
right,
that's
right.
also where we need to do a lot better as well. Like you may
Absolutely.
see Johnny Ray, but oh, well, are you doing it for Cross or for something else? Like, shouldn't really matter.
Right.
It's still the same person, even if
Absolutely.
it's Ty Cole. Yeah, well, from BT, Huffington Post, whatever, but he has his own platform. It's the same person. So why not still invest in that person too?
Yes,
So I think we
sir.
need to do a lot better at that as well, which we can go on and on about because I have so many
Yeah.
thoughts and opinions.
Community building. Community
Community
building.
building. We can have our own off screen topic conversation about that when I'm in LA. But your Mount Rushmore of villains, I'm curious because
Oh,
I would
shoot.
say,
That's a good question.
Bobby is Bobby
Mount,
could work his way up there at some point if we get more seasons. But who are some of those villains that taught you something
that's a
that
good
really
question. That's the
stuck?
first time I got that one. The Joker by Heath Ledger.
Now
Um,
he's monumental.
yes, The Joker by Heath Ledger. Kevin Spacey in Seven.
Mm.
Um, ooh, Omar from The Wire is not a villain per se, but yeah, but Omar from The Wire comes to
Okay.
mind. And then who else? I feel like shoot, I might even say, hmm, damn, nah, them ain't villains, man. Oh
They could
shoot,
be a villain
I
to
might.
you. I mean, just because they're not
No,
a
I know.
villain,
I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to.
make sure
Dang,
you're
it's gonna
getting
give
some
me a.
good ones.
Yeah, yeah. Dang. I got three. Damn, four. I ain't got a. I'm trying to think. Shoot, I'm gonna say Sir Anthony Hopkins. Sir
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins for sure. Sir Anthony
Okay.
Hopkins.
We're gonna do that one. Sir Anthony
Yes.
Hopkins. That's a
Yes.
good little list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny, did you have a good time with me today?
I did. It's fantastic, man. I appreciate the conversation and the dialogue.
Of course. Listen, fans, make sure you are streaming Cross. We can get season 3.
Yes,
But
we do. We just got
also,
renewed today. We just
ah,
got renewed today. Season three is coming. Stay tuned. Yeah, we loading.
what are you hoping for season 3 with Bobby?
I just hope we go deeper and fly higher, man. I'm always excited about what the writers bring to the table. So I'm looking forward to figuring out what we gonna do.
If
So
you like let's say we dive more deep into like his history and his background, because I would love
I
to
would love
know.
that. I
Yeah,
would love
like
that.
what would you want to kind of see if we were to dig deeper into like the lore of who Bobby Trey is and why he
Man,
does what he does?
I love to find out. I love to find out more about what happened with his family's land. Um, uh, we touched on it a little bit in season one, but I'm sure some people might not be familiar. But so many Black people lost our land through eminent domain, through
Hmm.
the treachery of big corporations. Obviously, Tulsa was burned down, so that's
It's a good one.
a dark legacy
Yeah,
in the South and throughout, America. And that's what, is a part of Bobby Trey's backstory. So it'd be dope to, dive into that at some point. So we'll see.
we will see. I'm so excited, especially in a climate where Black shows barely get a season 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's exciting.
It's
What
very
did you
much
say when you
exciting.
got the call? Like, hey,
Oh,
you
I
got
was excited. I was excited. And like, it's also on us too as a community. We got to stop just calling ourselves black shows. Like, yes, it's a black show, but I
Mhm.
was in France and getting recognized in France. This American idea that black people don't sell around the world is nuts. Because I'm telling you, we do. They just don't post the articles when we do. And when their movies, when these white movies bomb overseas. They just don't write that article. Okay.
Hmm.
So Cross is an international hit. Um, I I've had people reaching out to me from South Africa and France and Belgium, all over South America. They're excited when I speak to them in Spanish, etc.
Yeah.
Right? So we're Cross is an international hit. Yes, it's black because authenticity is important, right? But these stories are universal, and black stories are also for everybody. Just like when I watch E2 Mommy Tambien or watch a movie with Javier Bardem, I'm not like, God dang it, they doing a Latin story. I don't think I can relate
Hmm.
to this. Nah, if it's a dope story, it's a dope story.
I love that. Johnny, it's always a pleasure, man. I love seeing you do your thing. Congratulations on the
Thank you.
renewal. And again, Johnny Ray Gill for office. So we're gonna hope
Shoot,
to get that
shoot.
in. I'll talk to you,
Avocado toast for everyone.
bruh, an avocado toast and brunch.
And
But also at brunch, you talk about the real issues. So there's duality.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna get you fed in your spirit, your stomach, and in your brain. So we good.
Exactly. This is why I'm saying, Johnny, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, good brother. Talk to you soon.